Now, we've already talked about the magnificence that is the traditions within the game. However, now it's time to take a look at the Ascension Perks. Now, as you can see, I have pre-selected a bunch of Ascension Perks here and are only showing the ones that are currently available to me because, as you can see over here, we have only got access to the Gatekeeper ones. We've got 8 available. Originally, there are 7 actual trees of traditions. So where does the 8th one come from? Well, it comes from a technology that you'll be able to unlock about halfway through the game. So let's take a look at our Ascension Perks and what is available within the scope of the game. So we'll start off with the Gatekeepers. It's not going to be too complicated. Once that is done, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on what is actually available within the scope of the Ascension Perks. First off, we start off with World Shaper. World Shaper is relatively interesting. It's a booster to terraforming speed plus 100% terraforming speed, which is pretty damn good, especially if you're doing something along the lines of like Gaia transformation or anything like that. It means you can speed up the process significantly. Totally worth it if you want to have a large population within your empire. But then again, there are some other options for that as well that we'll get into shortly. Interstellar Dominion as a decent starter. It increases border range by 25% in a combination with the expansion bonus, or I believe it's actually the supremacy bonus. It will give you an additional 25 as supremacy gives you 20% extra, plus all the reoccurring technologies. Pretty damn good if you want to do some early exploration and you find yourself stuck in a wedged between different empires that you were trying to conquer. Technological Ascendancy, research speed plus 10 in total. Absolutely great. Recurring technologies, and considering it is actually a percentage bonus, means that early on it will pay dividends. If you, of course, get it early on, because it's a percentage bonus, so over time it's all going to add up. Even if you have, say, 5 or 6 or maybe 8 technology income, it may not seem like all that much, but it's still going to impact things quite significantly in the long term. One Vision, governing ethics attraction plus 30, as well as Unity output plus 10. Unity output, of course, if you want to increase your tradition production. And of course, governing ethics attraction, if you want to swoop in towards a different type of government through the faction system, One Vision is very useful because it's the government ethics attraction bonus that applies there. Of course, it also allows you to do a lot of suppression when it comes to unrest. Mastery of Nature. Personally, I think it's a rather weak. Clear blocker cost minus 100%. Unlocks the ability to remove most tile blockers. Basically, you'll be able to remove all tile blockers effectively for free. There's a couple of exceptions there. But overall, considering there is not many situations where this becomes applicable because large planets... Well, let's put it this way. Unless you run into a large planet or several large planets with a lot of blockers, is it really going to be worthwhile to do a temporary setup, or where you could also have a technological setup in the long term, or a bunch of Unity stuff here as well. Mastery of Nature, very opportunistic, not very long term. Not a big fan of it. Voidborn, which is space, which allows you to unlock the habitat. We're going to be doing a separate video about that. You will need this in order to move on towards the mega structure. I don't personally consider the habitat a mega structure, as it is relatively small compared towards the other ones, but still quite impressive. Imperial Prerogative, Core Sector Systems plus 5. If you are a micromanager or you do not really trust the sector AI, and I wouldn't blame you, this is your way to go. Let's take a look here at what is unavailable right now. A lot of this stuff unlocks as you go along. Engineered Evolution, which takes you down the biology Ascension path. We're going to do a video about that soon. It increases the amount of trait points that you get by 2, as well as reduces the amount of time or the amount of cost that it will take to get well, at least any sort of special project when it comes to alien modification or species modification. That's all based around society as well. So the timer doesn't really apply. It's just amount of society income you have. Evolutionary Mastery gives you another 3 points. Of course, you will need 3 other Ascension perks first, and it also requires Engineered Evolution, and it once again reduces the cost by 25%. You also get genetic resequencing, which gives you a whole bunch of additional stuff. The Flesh is Weak, which is the first tier in the Cybernetic Ascension. Robot maintenance cost minus 15%, so if you are a mechanist or are very heavily focusing on robots, this is a great thing to do, but you need one other Ascension perk first. You also have the ability to enhance your citizens with cybernetic implants, and if you're a hive mind, you are unable to do this. Then there's Synthetic Evolution, the next stage. Robot maintenance cost is being reduced by 25%. On this stage, you can transform your entire population to synthetics. Of course, you are now considered robots, so you will have a massive reduction in cost when it comes to your maintenance modifier. Of course, as before, hive mind is incompatible with Synthetic Evolution. Mind over matter. For those that have watched the psionic video, you'll know what this is. It awakens the latent psionic abilities within your species, and you will gain the research option Telepathy. You'll require one other first Ascension perk to be unlocked, and once again, hive minds are unable to go down the psionic ascension path. Then there's Transcendence, which opens up the access to the Shroud. And once again, the Hive Minds cannot do this. Galactic Force Projection increases naval capacity by 200 points. Is it worth it? Questionable. I disagree that this is a good one. Mainly because that's, what, like 12, 13 maxed out stations? I don't think it's worth it. Defenders of the Galaxy increases damage to Praetorian creatures, unbidden, aberrant, vehement, AI rebellion, and basically any sort of crisis situation. You will be able to fight them back, and everybody will like you a little bit more. It's trash. Don't take it. Master Builders, megastructure building costs will be reduced by 25% and build speed increased by 33%. A huge boon. You can get a lot quicker than this. You will require Voidborn or Galactic Wonders, and Galactic Wonders is something that we'll be looking very shortly at. Galactic Contender, damage to fallen empires and awakened empires has been boosted by 33%. It's trash. Don't take it. The Circle of Life requires the Voidborn Ascension perk, allows you to construct the old expensive ring world, arguably one of the best things in the game. Requires 3 other Ascension perks in order to be done. And finally, we get to Galactic Wonders. You will need 3 Ascension perks in order to unlock this. No, you do not need Voidborn in order to do this. That's only applicable to the Circle of Life. And that will allow you to build the Sentry Array, the building that allows you to see the entire map. The Science Nexus, which gives you a ton of research points. And finally, the Dyson Sphere, which can max out the amount of energy income that you have by 400 energy. Whether or not that is worth it, we'll be discussing some other time. And that is a general overview of the Ascension perks. I would not be surprised if we are going to see more of these at some point in the future as expansions will roll out, as well as free updates will roll out. Now, if you do not have Utopia, Ascension perks are not available. Traditions, of course, are. So if you want to get your hands on these, well, unless you don't want to pay for them, you can always find a friend, get him to that has Utopia, get him or her to host a game, and you will have access to the Ascension perks. So you can have a free look at how they work, and you know what, if you like them at that point, then you can always decide to buy the expansion. That will wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves and Interstellar Dominion.